Wildcat Basketball Weekly, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union, home of the official U of A debit card. Get yours today at hughesfcu.org.
Welcome to another edition of Wildcat Weekly with head coach Sean Miller. Cats on the road to face Oregon State in Oregon this week, coming off 2 wins at home against California and Stanford. And 2 guys stood out. A lot of guys stood out, but I want to start with 2. Ira Lee, who had a career-high 16 against Stanford, helped the team beat Cal as well, and the return of Brandon Williams. So let's start with Ira Lee and his continued improvement.
Well, Ira Lee is he's been somebody that's been, I think a bright light almost from the beginning of our season till now. And that, Brian, he's just steadily improved. At first it was to be out there for longer periods of time and make less negative plays, less fouls per minute, less turnovers. His season started where he was foul plagued, and once in a while he would have the turnover that was a head scratcher. And he's done a great job in both of those areas of making less negative plays. He's always been one of our team's best rebounders, and he's continued to do that well, especially as he's played more minutes. We're playing Chase and him together more often. He knows what to do and how to handle that responsibility. We're a much more efficient team when they're out there together than maybe we would have been earlier in the year. And he's scoring easier around the basket against bigger players. He hit a foul shooting valley, I would call it, last couple weeks. We got back on track against Stanford where he went 4 for 4. And again, he's a very good free throw shooter. So Ira right now is playing the best overall basketball of his career at Arizona. And I think Chase playing a good game against Stanford and Ira was a big reason we won. If you combine their statistics, I think they had as many as 13 made field goals. So that bodes well for us when that happens.
You mentioned efficiency as well with the return of Brandon Williams and what that does for the team. What do you see out on the floor beyond the box score that he brings to the Wildcats?
He gives us much needed depth, Brian. Part of our problem during our losing streak, and we had many, was just we wore down. And it doesn't mean anything other than our players are giving outstanding effort at both ends. And, the physical toll that a 40-minute game can take, you need a break. And when you take the break, you want quality play to be out there when we make substitutions. There are times when, as we got into our bench or, our players that were out there playing, as they wore down, we weren't good enough, whether it be on offense or defense. I think that Brandon, he solves that to a large extent where we can play through foul trouble. We were able to give multiple players rest. And so that's kind of one of the hidden factors. And the other part is I believe that Brandon's best characteristic as a player is his ability to make others better. And we saw that in the Stanford game. Although he only played 18 minutes and his stat sheet doesn't jump out at you, there were a handful of plays that he made where he got Brandon Randolph a shot in the right corner, or got Ira or Chase a dunk around the basket by just his ability to penetrate and play make. So those are 2 things, and we're knock on wood. Hopefully we'll have Brandon with us from right now to the end of our year.
Life is what you make it, full of endless possibilities and opportunities at every corner. In our fast-paced world, Hughes helps you with what matters most, delivering dreams, adding value to your life. Where you bank matters, for you, your family, and your future. We are local, rooted in the community you call home. Join us on the journey of life. Hughes Federal Credit Union, ranked the #1 credit union in Arizona by Forbes.
Wildcat Basketball Weekly continues, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union.
Face Oregon State on Thursday night. Beavers having one of their best seasons in a long time. What has stood out to you when you see Oregon State on film?
Well, Trace Tinkle is an outstanding player. The Thompson brothers are. And they have done a great job of mixing in the rest of their personnel and putting them in specific roles. Whether it's a big guy who's a very good shot blocker, a shooter who plays off of those 3 very well. And Wayne Tinkle has done just an outstanding job with Oregon State's program. But those 3 players, the Thompson brothers and Trace Tinkle, they really stand out. Their production, their meaning to their team, and their ability to do everything. Offensive, rebound, get fouled, make threes, score the ball. So I think any team that plays Oregon State, you're hoping that we don't take a great punch from all three of those players, that maybe we can limit one of them, two of them, and that will help you beat Oregon State for sure.
You've got a couple of seniors on your team that are going to finish their college basketball careers in sometime in the weeks ahead. Do you see anything from them when they know that end is coming near, that there's maybe a little more twinkle in their eye or something else that you sense from them?
Yes, and I'll go back to Dusan and Parker a year ago. You know, they played very emotional, very spirited down the home stretch of the season. You know, our last game against Buffalo didn't go our way. And credit Buffalo, as you can see this year, they're an outstanding team. It was a tough matchup, but in the Pac-12 tournament, if you really think about how that went, winning 3 games in 3 days, and maybe our last homestand here with Stanford and Cal, Dusan and Parker played lights out. You know, a year earlier, I would say the same thing about Kadeem Allen. And it's not just that they're at the end of their time at Arizona, but they've invested a lot. And Justin Coleman and Ryan Luther, you know, their investment was a decision to leave their current situation, and among many other choices, choose Arizona, and they want that to work out. So no doubt, I think it means more to those guys. What you hope is that we can help them channel the importance of these games in a positive way, that they don't put too much pressure on themselves, or, you know, it works against them, which can happen in sports.
All right. Cats and the Beavers Thursday night in Corvallis. Saturday night, the Wildcats visit the Ducks in Eugene. And we'll see you next time on Wildcat Weekly.
Thank you for watching Wildcat Basketball Weekly, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union, home of the free U of A Visa debit card. Get yours today at hughesfcu.org, federally insured by NCUA.